Hi everybody, welcome to our Let's Learn Futures webinar series brought to you by Bursa Malaysia Derivatives. My name is Shen Chu. I'm the moderator for this webinar. And first of all, I want to welcome everybody to this webinar. So if you can hear me and see my screen and see our webcam, please type yes in the Q&A box. All right, so I think our line is working well. Well, this program is brought to you by Bursa Malaysia Derivatives and managed by LifeChamp. And today we are very excited to be hosting a professional traders, CC Yong, in this topic called trading futures as a career. Now, I'm sure some of you here have already gone through some of our futures webinars in the previous few sessions, and if you're convinced that trading futures can bring you, sustainable income, then today we are going to explore how you can make it into a career options or take it as a business. Because today our guest speaker is a very established prop trader in Malaysia, so he's going to share his experience with you today. So you're in luck for tuning in to this webinar, Trading Futures as a Career. Now, before we proceed, just want to do a quick shout out for the disclaimer. This webinar is only for educational purpose. In no way that I give any recommendation for any long or short any futures contract positions. So in the event that you decide to buy or to long or short any futures contract, you do it at your own risk. Is that okay? All right, excellent. Now, let me share with you that in this year 2020, we have already arranged a series of webinars. In the past, we have done 3. Now this is the 4th webinar, and almost every week we will have a futures webinar until 17th of December. So it is almost like every Thursday, unless the Thursday is a public holiday. So when it comes to Thursday 8:30, you just remember, block your calendar Thursday 8:30 for our futures webinar. Unless the Thursday is a public holiday, then we will move it 1 day or 2 days earlier. Okay, so this is the entire series of futures webinar for this 2020. And allow me to introduce our speaker today. Now, his name is CC Yong. He is a full-time trader, and he is a founder of Strix Index Sdn Bhd, which is a proprietary trading company and associate participant of BMD. And he is also a former local participant of Bursa Malaysia Derivatives, and he also pens a column in Money Compass magazine as well as some other financial magazines. So he also write a column for Sinju, if I'm not mistaken, for the past many years. So you'll probably chance into his article at some point in time. So he's a full-time trader, and maybe some of you will be asking, what is associate participant of BMD, and what is also a local participant of BMD? Now let me tell you, to be a local participant in BMD, you need to have at least 1,000 contract traded a month. Okay, can you imagine the magnitude? 1,000 contract traded a month, futures contract traded a month. All right, so if you're impressed, you can type wow, okay, in our question box. So we know whether you feel that this is an impressive track record or not. And to be an associate participant of Bursa Malaysia Derivatives, okay, guess how many contracts you need to trade a month? You need to trade at least 10,000 contracts a month to be an associate participant of BMD. Wow. So if you are impressed, you can also type wow with many more exclamation mark. Okay, so his company, which is a prop trading firm, is a associate participant of BMD and has more than 10,000, easily, okay, 10,000 contract traded a month. So today we have a very experienced trader to share with you how you can consider future trading as a full-time career. So without further ado, let me hand over the session to you, CC.
Hi, Shane.
Making you the presenter right now.
Right, thank you. Good evening, everybody. So thank you and welcome to join this webinar at this evening. So thanks for the introduction as well. Okay, the screen is showing?
Yes, perfect. Seeing your
Okay,
screen and hearing your voice.
all right. Okay, thanks. So let's start today's webinar. Okay, like what Shane explained just now, there are a number of paths usually if you are Malaysian trader. So usually we will take to become a full-time trader in this industry. I put a two main path, but there are many more actually. But first thing first, of course, you can become a individual trader, which you open a retail client account, and then you can start trading futures, provided you know some basic how the whole things works. Certain country actually may require you to have passing a test, a simple test before you can trade futures. In Malaysia, opening a retail trading account should be actually slightly more transparent and easier. Okay, and usually we will start become an individual trader, and then we start to come across something called local participant. Local participant is a term used in Malaysia. Of course, if you want to relate to a more different term, it can be said like a professional trader. So that means this trader is actually trading as a profession, or you can say is a member of trading member of the exchange. So if you watch this movie, you know which those trading stocks in the state in, and you see them wearing jersey, but the small jacket, red, blue, yellow, with a sign there. So those are actually local participant. But in Malaysia, that we no longer trading as a local participant, which we call floor trader, which you show high hand signs and all this. In Malaysia, local participant is merely we are just trading using computers. So as long as you have a computer connected to internet, then you can trade as a local participant. Local participant is something different, which I will explain detail, which you can actually attach to a broker firm, which you become the partner of the broker, and you enjoy faster internet, because you're no longer trading using internet. You may be trading inside the trading list line of a broker. So you will have some benefits when you're trading as a local participant attached to a broker. With this, you enjoy some incentive like the speed, and also a very good commission. Of course, as years goes by, I remember the first like 20 years ago when I started to trade FKI, one contract of FKI will cost you 100 ringgit as brokerage. Can you imagine that 100 ringgit just to trade one lot of contract? Of course, eventually when CI point has halved, so the brokerage become like 50 ringgit for retailer, and soon when you trade more, I think easily nowadays you'll be offer good rate like 10, 12 ringgit if you traded a lot. Of course, if you're trading more, the broker would be more than willing to offer you even better. And do you know that there are some incentive actually can come from the exchange itself? So if you're trading as a local participant, there are some incentive which offered from the broker and the exchange to you. So this are probably is one of the reason why we chose to become a local participant, because your cost of brokerage become much lower than retail trader. And become an individual trader, of course, is much more flexible. You do not have a boss, so you are your own boss. You can wear t-shirt, jeans to your office. Your office could be your house, or you go to a broker office, which quite casual wear, but not too informal, but well, casual smart kind of thing. So you can become an individual trader. So there are a lot of individual trader which apply as a local participant. You can see them group in a big trading arcades, and they're trading together, but they manage their own account. All right. So this is one of the paths you can choose. Another one is recently we have another option is if you have an option to become associate participant, which is something similar to local participant, but this time you no longer attach as an individual to the exchange to become the trading member, but your company is attaching to it. It has been so many years, but of course, recently there are more and more local participants converting to associate participant, which become the so-called a trading member, but the company is a member. Okay, you form an entity or company to do this. Okay, so of course, forming a company has got different advantages. So you will also enjoy incentives from broker. For example, you will provided office, you'll be provided better brokerage, and the exchange may offer you more and more incentive. Like if you're trading more volume, so they will have better exchange fees, this kind of offers. And from there, instead of becoming individual trader, you're trading alone on yourself, you're actually able to hire traders. That means you're able to probably hire some traders and train them, maybe or they are already know how to trade. Okay, they become your traders. You provide capital account, some trainings, facilities. They will start trading and generate profits, and the profits become the company profits. Okay, so you're running the trading business as a corporate. So all this from individual traders and to become an associate and to participant, which you open up a company and entity. So these are all in business minded. So trading eventually will bring you a career. So something that you enjoy, you're doing it every day, and you make it as your business and career. So this is what normal path which you could take in the long run. So this is what I did also, because I started, this is exactly what I did actually. So basically, I'm sharing with you what I have done. So yes, so from here, we will explain a little bit more on how and what we can do from here. So okay, first thing first, when you take up trading, especially trading futures, okay, for a living, so that means you are actually a professional trader, okay, because you are taking this trading as a job, so as your profession. So please do not mix up professional trader. Sometimes, most of the time, doesn't mean that this guy is good and is a professional type of level in trading. So basically, I would like to probably correct professional trading traders. Probably basically just means that we are actually trading as a profession. So we generate income from this profession, so to sustain our living. So, but basically, trading for a living, it just, you are still a trader, but your mindset probably started to change a little bit, which you are a trader, but you are also a money manager who take care of a trading account. So you become, although you are actually working on your own, but you become more and more like you are trading for this account. So this account could be your company account. This account can be your individual account. So you will assume all the risk and responsibility in trading. This is actually critical because if you don't take all the risks and responsibility, that means, let's say if you trade an account which a virtual money, for example, so you wouldn't have to worry about risk and all this. So you'll be surprised you can trade very well. I'm giving a trade simulation account to my son. He could actually trade very well because he knows that this money doesn't belong to himself. So, but trading for a living means the money is yours. All the money you lose, you'll be belong and responsible by yourself. So, and then you derive the income from trading profits. Of course, trading loss, you don't have income lah. So that's a challenge. But can it be done? In fact, it's yes. In the matter of fact, actually, this today I have a lunch with someone who actually asked me he would wanted to give up a very good permanent job. He wanted to become not the company not doing well. The company is doing very well, but he wanted to try something else and become full-time futures trader. So you can actually trading as a career, which, as I said, it leads to it's change your entire lives. For example, I myself started. I wrote a software, and then the software I'm using. You remember 20 years ago, technical analysis is not that common. Okay, nowadays technical analysis is something that basic. Okay, but many years ago, 20 years ago, technical analysis is not common at all. I wrote the software so that I can do some analysis on my own. It's hard to get software and data at that time as well. So what I do is actually I did that, and then eventually I traded stocks. But then eventually I converted, become futures trader, and then soon and then I became local participant, and then eventually I end up set up the prop firm. So that means my company started with software, stocks, and then eventually we are associate participant for trading futures. So this is my entire career, and it makes me. So it will change your life course, of course, if you take up futures trading or any instrument trading as your career. Last but not least, if you want to trading for a living, you have to be self-disciplined. Self-discipline is something that's very hard to do, because in schools, probably your principal, probably your headmaster will guide you what to do, what not to do. Okay, but when you're trading on your own, there won't be someone doing that anymore. There's no headmaster. There will be some surveillance, of course, there, but you have to rely on your own self-discipline. So train yourself to be self-disciplined, which is critical in trading generally as a career. So I wish this is something that you keep in your mind when moving forward from here. Right. So as I just explained, this is the slide that I just explained. I was a software developer. I wrote software. I still write software, but now the software that I write is no longer displaying candlestick, displaying indicators. The software that I wrote probably is showing the volatility of an instrument, showing the spread of this instrument to the other instrument, showing where is the, we call time series data of instrument, whether they are stationary or whether they are not stationary. Stationary means that we could trade the instrument as a spread. Non-stationary means we cannot find a formula how to trade this instrument from mathematically, or statistically. So this is what I write, nowadays. So you need to also know how to test and apply various strategy. Of course, you could, let's say someone told you, okay, we can use EMA to trade FCPO. So you need to know how to apply this and test. You can do your manual testing. There's no problem to be, because I've seen people really using paper and pen to draw their own simulation. There's no problem doing that. Sometimes I do that just to make sure that I understand this idea. And discover the importance of risk and management. This is how I decided to turn trading futures as my full-time career, because I was thinking, no matter what we do, actually there are always some risks associated to the trading. So how we contain and control the risks we are exposed, and I realized that as you can contain or control the risk you are trading in your trading result or returns become consistent. You can be, just wild guess today, long or short, you can make money out of 10 times. But could you do this in tens of thousand times? Every time you'll be correct, almost like every day. It's hard, it's tough. So I realized that when I control my risk, my accuracy become higher. It just, let's say for example, it's simple. Let's say if you usually you go into market 10 lots, okay, in contracts, but if the next day you go in 1 lot, you feel so comfortable. If you use the 10 lots, you trade 1 lot, becomes something not critical to you. Then you become control in your emotion, discipline, and many other things. So your stop loss can become 100 ticks or 10 ticks. It used to be like 5 ticks, you're already nervous, but now you said stop loss 20 ticks is okay, because effectively you're not losing more money, but of course limiting your risk, also limiting your returns. So this is a set-off that you have to adjust yourself. So this is what it turns me to become a futures trader, because I did some simulations and I realized that let's say buying a stock, I give you an example. It's not simple like that, but it's something like that. So I buy a stock or buy an instrument or CPO or FKI. I have, let's say, 50,000. I put in 50,000 to bank on one direction. So if I'm correct, I make a lot of money. But in long run, if I'm doing every time I go in with almost all my equities in one of the trades, I end up actually losing money using the same strategy. But if I'm rather than using so-called all-in strategy, so I convert it to a smaller trades. Okay, so this allow me to test on the same strategy, same parameters, but in long run my equity will increase. This is on simulation. So and then from there I start practicing this method, and I realized this is the key to my trading. So that's how I actually decided I should actually convert myself to a full-time trader rather than the time I'm doing some software and so on and so forth lah. So of course the next thing I did was I discovered spread trading. Spread trading many years ago is like a myth, or it's like a best kept secret in everywhere. So if you don't know, actually you will never find in a screen. There's certain trading platform you don't even see in a screen. So once I know spread trading, I was thinking, why people trade spreads if it's not good, right? So what I did was I really went in and test all these small things. I really using Excel, using pen, pencil to draw how a spread works. I'm actually not very bright in all this area because no one guided me that time. So what I did was I took me about 1 year to compile everything to realize this is how spread is formed. This is how spread is traded. So yeah, then eventually it brought me in that this is something that I could actually consistently doing it as my career. So basically most of my trades are spread, and I have the idea that if I cannot sell certain thing, I wouldn't buy anything. So I need to do to have a spread strategy in my overall portfolio. So this is how I started to be full-time trading. And the screen that you're seeing here is actually is effectively my screen. I just took it like days ago. I'm looking at multiple screen because I have some strategy, some things that I need to do, Excels and the codes. And because trading spread, you trade not only like FCPO October alone. You're trading October, November, December, January, February. There's numbers of instruments and combination. You have also October, December, November, January. So these are double months. So that's why we need a lot of screens. So allow us to quickly switch from one instrument to another, and also monitor the movement of each instrument. So that's why we need number of screens. Many years ago, these are costly to set up, but I think IT now is basic. The cost is actually not that high, so I think easily everybody with a decent computer can do what we do now. So enough for the screen. Okay, this is probably to show that I'm really trading in this desk lah. It's not Photoshop, so it looks like Photoshop, but it's not. Okay, so continue with my journey is that and then with all this in place, I slowly become I apply to become BMD, which is Bursa Malaysia Derivatives local participant, which I actually I actually thankful that I decided to become the local participant, because once you become a trading participant, so you have a lot of opportunity. You meet more and more people. There are forum programs which cater for local participants. Do you know that if you are registered local participant, when they have events, they have programs, they have, let's say, speakers, they have traders from overseas, they will invite all these local participants to join, because local participants are slightly more informed traders, small group, so which easy to control and queue and all this. So we were joining all these seminars, training to which open up our actually view or horizon. So which that the world doesn't really work the way that you used to think it is. So that's why it is a good opportunity when I became a local participant of BMD. And then I also have opportunity to become BMD associate participant. So that's why the company that I'm working in, we also become the member. So with that, actually, I'll explain later what we can do with this setup. So of course, with as a participant, you are officially a prop house or prop shop. You know, this is how we call it, a prop shop. It sounds so weird, right? But we used to do it, name it this way. And I could provide training, okay, and also acquire proprietary traders, which we call prop trader. So prop trader is individual that we hire, and then they're trading the company's account. Company will provide funds, and from there we provide training. And when they have become successful, so the trading profit become their actually their business, the account that they manage, and then they will actually being paid salary as well, and profit sharing. So this is how you know, from individual traders, eventually I become, you know, certain traders work with me, so that we actually train together, and I have actually better reach, because there's more people. We can do research, we can do testing, we can have more people look at different instruments. So this is what we end up with. And yeah, so trade futures as a career, meaning that you treat this as, you know, starting a career or business, and you can either actually work for others as well, because there are numbers of proprietary trading shop in KL itself. In Malaysia, there are some that I know of. I myself, I mean, as AP, so we are looking as a prop shop already. So or you can actually work on your own. That means you decided not to join someone else. You can become a retail trader. You can just start by opening an account and paper test, or testing your idea, or eventually become LP of BMD. There's many of local participants. If you actually aware, local participants actually contributed probably 1/3 of the volume traded in Bursa Malaysia. That means these individuals are trading high volume, so they are trading number of contracts in the market is actually quite big compared to retail traders. So what this BMD local participant is needed, actually you need to register. You just contact them. You contact BMD contact from the website. I think you were able to send them an email or phone call. They're able to take you in as a professional trader. You need to trade 1,000 lots monthly to qualify to become a LP. There is some incentive waiver. Initially, you don't have to do it 1,000 lots. I think there will be a grace period that you don't have to hit this volume at first. Okay. You also enjoy scratch trades. What's scratch? Scratch trades is actually something that let's say you buy FKI at 1,700. Okay. Later you decided this price is no longer good, so you want to sell back at 1,700. So which you buy and sell at same price. This is actually considered zero com. You don't lose money, don't make money. You don't have to pay commission as well. So this is something very unique. It's not available in a lot of exchanges in outside, you know. So this is something unique that we still enjoy this in Malaysia. So you should actually try this as well. And you register as a business entity, which of course, as a business entity, your income, your trading profit become taxable income lah. But your losses also can bring forward. That means, let's say, unfortunately, you lose money for this financial year. The next year, you can actually deduct your profit, you know, bring forward your losses as well. So this is something that you can consider as well. But of course, eventually, once the business become stable, so this is actually, well, probably not something that you're looking for, and you enjoy lower trading brokerage is another options. As I said, you'll be offered a better package once you become LP. And last but again not least is you have opportunity to meet fellow traders, which they have experience. They've been where you've been or doing now, so they can share you and information that you probably dyingly needed in certain situations. So you meet them, you greet them, you have chance to work with them, chat with them. You learn a lot by actually meeting all these fellow traders, which is something that well, to me is a benefit become an LP. So individual or LP, what you do, you trade FKI, you'll be probably trading CPU as well, which is one of the popular contracts. And then you do intraday scalping. A lot of individual traders are scalping because scalping, the good thing about scalping is that you don't need a very big capital to start with. Okay, you need a very basic starting capital. And scalping means you trade very, very high frequency. You buy and sell in, you make one tick, two ticks, you take profit. So your TP become 1 or 2 ticks. So imagine that you can take profit in 1, 2 ticks. Why? Because the brokerage is lower. If your brokerage is high, you can't do that. So become an LP is actually also crucial if you want to, start with smaller capital, but you want to increase your rate of returns. I mean, you'll be looking at higher return per month, basis. Or you can become a swing traders or position traders, which but you need holding power as you grow. I'm sure you can do that lah. And also you can do spread trading because the brokerage is lower. Spread trading actually require lower brokerage to be profitable. Of course, you can use fundamental and technical analysis and everything that you can use lah. So if you have computer knowledge, it will be greatly appreciated because you can backtest and all this and forward test in paper. So nowadays, computer-aided backtest is so simple. You just apply certain formulas. You can copy others' formulas, apply in your chart and all this. Then you can see whether this strategy works from paper or not. It's not necessarily working in paper and you can make money, but at least you can know that whether it's workable or whether it's not workable. So this is something you can start doing it. And the codes you can, as I said, you can copy, you can download. This is actually a trading view. There are also a number of software that free, paid. This is Ninja Trader. Last year we did with LifeChamp, and Bursa. We did a lot on the so-called Ninja Traders as well. So you can use this to test your strategy. And the software is free. So the good thing is provided free. You can apply all this strategy to backtest the idea and all this. So these are the result generators. So which greatly help if before you start trading as full-time, because you want to, honestly speaking, once you start trading full-time, drawdowns or losing money is inevitable. You will hit the drawdowns one way or another. So what you want is you want to minimize the impact on your drawdowns. So you have to get prepared. How frequent? What is the maximum drawdown is expected? As you can see here, it even shows you how much money you will lose if you're using this strategy for this instrument for this particular time. But please be advised, because many strategy, if you backtest, it can make money, but if you put in a real life trading, it may or may not. So there are many factors. The good thing now is that I probably don't have enough time to tell you all the details, but you can actually just Google, just YouTube. There's many people will explain to you what are the area you have to look at. For example, have you over optimized curve fit your system? So these are area that you should actually looking at. But if you miss the part that we spoke about, the Ninja Trader and backtest before, I think you can look up in Bursa Marketplace or LifeChamp YouTube channel, which there are a lot of archives of videos that we did for the past few years, which I see is the value is there because we have spent so much time for the slides and all this, which helps you to probably understand the basic ideas. What is backtest? How this backtest can be done, and should I use it? Is it difficult because it's recorded video? YouTube, you can back forward, backward, so that you can see details step by step, follow how you can apply into a local instrument, FCPO, FKLI. Of course, you can manual test as well. Manual test means basically use pen, Excel, paper, and use your eyeballs to do it. I have seen students, fellow traders, they are using manually. They have thousands of counters or stocks or futures. They browse all the instrument chart one by one every day, and they get a feeling how this thing works, and then they paper trade using just daily chart or whatever that they can find. So it's actually still works. You need to spend some hard work. Then the result will comes in. So yeah, you really need to prepare. Let's say for example, you start a business, any business F&B, it is going to suffer. Like you need time to build up the reputation, branding, controlling manpower, costing. So same thing in trading. Do not take it lightly, as in futures trading or trading as a business is easier, it's better. I don't have to deal with people, all this. Yes, there are some advantages, but you also need to prepare. You need some hard work, hardship, to become successful in trading. So the next path is proprietary trading company. You can join a prop shop, as I just said, okay, which they are also usually BMD associate participant. You'll be offered a salary incentive base, depends on the package, okay. You learn from a mentor. This is the advantage, because someone will guide you in the company. And another advantage will be you will instantly access to professional tools, because there are many tools. Probably you don't know whether this is what you wanted, because first when we start trading, we thought charting is the only thing that we wanted. But as we trade full time, you know what I wanted time and sell. That means I want to see every single transaction. What people buy up or sell down this particular price. This is what I'm looking for, rather than I'm looking at chart alone. I used to be looking at chart 95% of my trading time. Nowadays, 95% of the time is actually I look at numbers instead of charts. So yeah, so something changed, along the way. This you can learn from your mentor or the tools that you can access. And then you are experiencing money and risk management in trading. There's a lot of company has rules and regulation. If you come to work in my company, you know that the risk control is so much different than what you thought we are doing. So this is how you become a prop trader, because we're doing something slightly different than people thought we are. And why trading futures is a good
Can
business.
I chip in
Yes,
to
sure.
ask you a question? So
Sure,
there's a
sure.
question by Cheng, who's asked, is there any prop trading firm in Penang or not? So when we talk about this question, right, why don't just ask, like, is there any prop trading firm that you can introduce?
Okay. Okay. First thing first, to answer Penang is difficult, because I might not know every individual traders, but you can be actually staying in Penang if you work for a prop firm, because nowadays during this MCO, there are many traders actually work from home, but because prop setup, as I said, a lot of professional tools, the company will allow you to trade remotely as long as everything is connected, because the prop company can still see the trades going, whether you violate the rules and all this. So you're actually allowed to trade in any way allow. In terms of prop firms that are available in KL or anywhere else, I'm sure I can show you some. All right. Okay. Let me share with this. This is a prop firm in KL. In KL, you can see that, as I said, professional tools, right, Shane? So you see, you will have multiple LCD screens. You will have tools, the software needed, the trading tools, the training. So these are what you get if you join a prop firm. So this prop firm called Tactical Hedge is a friend of mine that I know him. Yeah, you could actually just go to their website, tactical.mind, and probably you can contact them, because as far as I know, they are hiring aggressively in KL to get more and more traders to become their prop traders. They provide all the informations, news, data, training for you. So I am sure this could be something, if you want to take this opportunity to join a prop firm as what we just spoken. So this could be a good option for you to try on. So I hope you all join it out, tactical.mind.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you
Okay.
so much for answering that
No
impromptu
problem.
questions.
No problem. So why trading futures is, a good career? Because there's a saying, okay, that I heard, I don't know from who. There's a saying: futures trading has no recession. So this is what the first thing catch my eyeballs, because we have been trading stocks. We know stocks. I started at wrong time, because 20 years ago there was a recession, short recession and rebound and all this. But without recession is something that catch my eyeball, because you can long and short at any given time, and then you can trade through good and bad market because there's no recession time. So you can use either trend following strategy, uptrend, downtrend, sideways trend. Sideways trends, what you can do? Sideways trend you can trade because scalping is good when you're doing sideways trends, because if sideways mean go up 1 point, down 1 point, up 1 point, down 1 point, right? So normally a typical retailer will say, oh, very hard to trade because one tick only. But a typical local participant will say, good, because I can buy here, one tick, sell, buy, one tick, sell, one tick, buy, one tick. Because the brokerage is low, so you can actually do this kind of trading and you'll be happily this market forever sideways. Okay, this is how you have to change your mindset to adapt to what the market are. Thirdly, before just now we've talked about spread trading. There's another way we call arbitraging. Arbitraging is also derived from spread. Basically, you buy something and you sell something instantly without risk, and then you make money out of it. So this is another way of trading as well. So which you can explore. And why trade futures? Because futures is actually trading as margin by default. Margin is actually a good and a bad thing. So you increase your leverage, okay, but you also actually sort of like increase the chance of winning but also losing lah, but you have to use it carefully. And you have fixed brokerage, means your brokerage is actually fixed to a fee which it doesn't follow the price of the instrument. So this is something that can give you some advantages. But as I said, the risk is always something that you will face. Okay, so as a career, like any other business, you could lose your trading capital. So this is true. But can you go through it? Probably yes. And second, it's easy to over leverage because you think that the margin is 10 times, so you trade even more lots than you can afford to lose. Then you trade if not careful, so you become actually over trading. So preserving your capital is very, very crucial. Do not lose the capital you have. So that's why don't take position that too big that you cannot control the risk. So you have to control the risk and risk how much that you're willing to take, and set the maximum loss and risk for your trading is crucial in trading. So, and what it takes to become the full-time trader? First, you need skill. You have to know what is scalping, okay, trend following. I'm sure this all you can Google or YouTube, all right? And what is spread trading? Choose one, or you can trade everything also can. There are some traders who can only trade one, and there are some traders can trade multiple strategy, multiple instrument. You need capital as much as you possible, gather. So you need to work and get some capital before you can start trading as full time. And set your reasonable expectation is also crucial. Okay, you don't set your expectation to become a millionaire in 3 months, 1 year. So you have to be very, very reasonable in your expectation. Ask your people experience around how much you should actually set your expectation, and you have to be self-disciplined. This is the second time probably I mentioned that. And money management, how to manage your money, how carefully you manage your money, and skill to take or not to take certain risks. There are times that you take risks, you make money, but there are certain times that you think that taking the risk is not worth. My trading style is usually any risk is not worth, but I will take some risk, but I need to know what is the risk. And then you have to have the skill to discover and enhance the strategy you are trading. You cannot forever trading the same method as you traded that time 5 years ago. You have to enhance a bit, adapt a bit to a new market. So this is also something that you need to have. Okay, then is trading futures risky? Now, this is a myth that due to futures can be short sell. This is why futures sometimes are assumed very risky, but actually to me, actually futures has the mechanism to stabilize prices. So in a way, it reduces risk. So you have to know how to use a short selling to your advantage. So because futures is simple, the derivatives from an underlying asset. So if futures is a stock future, so is any risk carries by the price movement of the stock is same as the futures. So this is what I assume, because the futures of the stocks or any underlying assets should be same, okay, if you know. But where the risk come from? The risk actually come from the leverage. That means, because when you're controlling one CPO, let's say for example the CPO contract worth 60,000, the margin that requires 5,000. If you're controlling a stock that's 60,000, you need to pay up 60,000 to acquire the share. But futures, you only need 5,000. The risk is on the leverage. So control your leverage. So this is why I'm saying that the futures, whether it's risky, it depends on how you do it. So in stocks, you pay full asset value. Okay, stock price 89 cents, you're actually paying 89,000 to get 100,000 shares. So in futures, you're trading with margin, means, let's say, assuming now it's now 1,780, so 50 ticks, ringgit per ticks means it is 89,000. I just purposely made it so similar. That time the margin was 4,000. Now it's 4,200. So excuse me. So you need a very small amount of money to control a very big asset. This is where the risk comes, because if FKI goes against 80 ticks to you, you could actually lose all the margin 4,000 you put in. So that's why, oh, I lost 80 ticks, then I lose all the money. But then you only lose actually 4,000. But when you're losing, let's say stocks, for example, you're losing 4,000 ringgit from your stock price. You're also losing 4,000 from your stock price. So this is how, if you compare futures to any other instruments in terms of risk. So if you understand this, so try to reduce your leverage. Excuse me. Now, I give you an idea on risk management. All right. So FK theoretically will never go to zero. So that means if it's 1,800 now, okay, so the value is 90,000. You use, let's say, 90,000 cash, or let's say half, 45,000 to control one FKLI contract. Okay, so you need to lose 1,800 ticks or 900 ticks to lose all the money in your account. So can you imagine FK becomes zero? Very hard, right? So that means the risk is actually, if you're using bigger capital, you're using more money to control asset, same amount as a value asset, your risk becomes smaller. This is one of the idea how to control risk in trading. Okay, if you have this idea correctly, then you will know trading, the risk is actually, you're able to control the risk in your trading. So futures trading risk is not risky if you have adequate margin to withstand any whipsaw in the market. Okay, you're not over trading. All right. If one uses high margin leverage to trade security or stocks, which you can use margin account, the investment can be as risky as futures. So please change the mind. Futures is not so risky as someone assume, but it's actually same instruments. You need to know how to control and use on your advantage. Okay. Now, let me discuss some common mistakes in trading. So yeah, there are some that I list. Okay, trading method may not be proven to work, which you thought is working. Okay, but which it could be end up it's not working. So this is something that you need to backtest through this method. Not that you hear someone say that it works pretty well, then you just simply believe it and you try it yourself. And then second thing is that you does not rule out luck in trading. Do you know that luck exists in your trading? That means tomorrow you simply go in long or short any idea you wanted, it can be correct 50% of the time. So, and you can correct in the same second attempt, third attempt. So you need to rule out luck in your trading. That means whatever you do and you make money is nothing to do with luck. That means you can't simply guess whether the market up or down. You said the market has been down for so many days, so it won't go down further, or the price has been go up for 10 days, so it shouldn't go up another 1 day or two. So you cannot guess, because you need to make sure you either know it or you prepare to be wrong. So you have to take the luck out of your trading. If you have been lucky in making money, you have to ask yourself whether you can repeat the same trade, the same setup in your next trading. If you cannot repeat it, so luck probably play in your last trading. So you have to make sure luck doesn't play in your trading. And then thirdly is uses a short-term result to project long-term returns. Okay, that means you have been trading for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe using this method or that method. Then you suddenly change to another method. Suddenly you make money. You have been making, let's say, 30% in a month. So you start thinking, this is the method that it works for me. So if I can make 30% in a month, 2 months I'll be making, let's say, simply say 60% already from my original equity. Number 3 months, I have doubled up my capital. So wow, and so on and so forth. So you start projecting how many 100% that you can make in your trading. This is the mistake, because the time that you can do well in that particular month, it can be just one off. It can be still luck plays in your last month trading. So you have to be quite careful, not allow this kind of euphoria emotion in your trading. You have to be prepared to always the thing doesn't work for you now. And number 4 is focus on short-term profit rather than long-term returns. Okay, this is very similar. So you think that I should be doing this so that I can make more money now, rather than that should I actually train myself to be trading as a stable, consistent trader, so that in long run I can manage a bigger, and because your account will grow eventually if you're trading correctly. So rather than focus on whether this strategy can grow, let's say if you're trading certain strategy which can only allow a slight, let's say can make a small profit but very consistent profit, and you can make money for sure, but the opportunity only arises every 10 days. Okay, or you want to have some strategy that which you focus in, but every day you can generate profit and you can scale up the size. Let's say instead of doing 1 lots, you can do 10 lots, 100 lots, 1000 lots. You need to actually think of these terms, focus on this in long run, because the strategy should work in long term scale up and so on. And also another common mistake is over trading. A lot of people overloss. The overloss will comes in over trading. You see, this is something I can always guarantee is your biggest loss comes in when you actually trading the biggest position in your lifetime. So usually it's actually translated to overtrade. That means you're holding position bigger than you can afford to lose, then you will lose a lot. But if you're holding a position that you afford to lose, you won't lose because you cut loss and you start off the new day again, the next day. So overtrading is one of the common mistakes. And gambling, okay, you taking big risks because you think that every day go up, so definitely today will come down. So you short when the market go up, you go against the market. So you're taking the big risk just by gambling, because you don't know for sure this thing will happen or will not happen. So do not do that, because it's very common. It happens everywhere. I myself probably has several times that in this dilemma. But over the years, once you trade more and more, you see, I have a booklet actually. I used to write down my mistakes, and then ask my son to verify. I did this mistake. So yeah, I have to admit to him now. But I've forgotten how long I have never do this. It is for a simple reason, because I start realizing after some practices, you do not actually make mistakes, newbie mistake or common mistakes again. So yeah, you have to actually really retrain yourself to be self-disciplined. And lastly, confirmation bias. I love to say confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is something that if US up, FKI sure go up, or something like that. If soybean up, CPU will go up. So actually, yes, most of the time, but sometimes it's not. So there's so many other factors. Do not really take a direct view to whatever happens. Okay, if you do not understand the actual relationship of these two instruments or incidents, do not judge and do not have a bias to this. Okay, so be very careful, especially you trade spread. Spread is like, let's say Thailand go up, it doesn't mean that spread go up, spread can go come down, you know. So it's more than just simple direct bias in your view or things that you can see. So you have to be really careful when selecting or doing something like this. Okay, so a few more is actually on risk, but probably we will just go through a few more before we almost hit the bell. Okay, on risk management, these are some of the slides that I love to share. Is that you have to make sure that you control risk per trade. That means how much risk you're taking every trade. Don't take the maximum risk in every trade. Okay, so this is what I meant. And risk reward ratios, whether it's actually worth the risk if you're trying this way. And win ratio, you have to have high winning ratio in trading, and make sure that number of trades that you tested is big enough so that you take the luck away. So trading small risk per trade is something that desirable in trading. Okay, trading is important to know how much one can risk in every trade. Okay, normally you lose 1% of your equity is actually a common wisdom, but of course it's adjustable, but this is what commonly practiced. Okay, and then which means you're not lose more than 1% of your equity lah, huh? So this is what commonly practiced. It's just a guideline, so you have to be really set your own, probably use your Excel to calculate. Second is risk to reward ratio, so you calculate whether you're risking $1 cut loss and then you can gain a potentially $2, but actually this is actually just a concept, because you will never know that you risk $1 you can get $2. Okay, so this is really a concept, and you can use this to gauge whether your stop loss and your target profit, whether it's actually on the so-called proper range, which, for example, this is the example, you long your profit target, so your stop loss, so you can calculate your risk and reward at certain ratio. Okay, but the common problem on here is that when the cut loss point is triggered, you never cut loss. Do not do this. Okay, once you have this in place, you should actually execute a cut loss as what is planned. And then winning ratios. Winning ratio is another thing that, you know, how to control your risk is, if you have high winning ratio, your risk is actually lowered. The reason is because it's calculate how many times you make or over losing trades. Okay, usually in percent, because when you're higher in terms of the winning ratios, okay, the chance you're losing money becomes small. If every single trade is small enough that it doesn't lose a lot of money, then you end up net you make money. So typically, this is for my task lah. Okay, I share with you. You need a 65% winning ratio to be able to easier to trade. Of course, I have some argues from some traders I met. They said we don't need 50%. I first thought that as well. You can have 40% winning ratio because your winning is bigger than your losing, then you still make money. So you can scratch your trade and all this. But believe me, the way I trade is, I find that you need to have the strategy that which allow you to have winning ratio of 65%. It's easier for you to achieve the goal of full-time trader. If you have 40%, of course you can argue that when you make bigger trend, you're doing trend, and you lose small, then you can achieve that. First, you need to trade a lot to make this a reality. Second is that you need a trend or something that 1 to 2 reward ratio to make it. But having said all this, 65% still better than 40%. So try to look for a strategy that gives you this edge. Okay, and of course it's almost impossible to get more than 85%, but it's still possible. Depends on how many numbers of trades you are doing. So which is come to the next important element is, a good system should have a realistic number of trades lah. So if your system that you generate is very good, winning ratio, but only generate 1 trade per year is actually not good enough. So you need to be, you trade as much as possible so that you automatically you take the luck away from your trading because you trade more. When you're trading thousands of times every month, the luck doesn't play anymore lah. So this is what we mean. This is the few area that I actually set for you. Okay, the next is actually managing losing position. You have to know how to manage a losing position. This is probably the last slide we go on before we go for Q&A, because I'm sure there are some numbers of questions that waited to be asked. Okay, so last but not least is suitable for everyone, for trading full-time futures. So I would say it's suitable for those who are willing to walk through the hardship in trading. So it's not easy, but it's doable, and one may suffer long period of drawdowns which lose money or repetitively drawdowns. It happens, every traders will go through period of time of losing money, and you have to go through that as well. You have to prepare. And trading with impulse, you have to stop yourself doing that. And it's suitable for someone who prepared and determined to become a full-time trader. So with this, I pass back the control back to Shane, and probably we do some Q&A from here.
No problem. Thank you so much, CC, for sharing your experience and journey with us as a prop trader. It started from exploring stock and becoming a futures trader, spread trader, and now become not only LP but also AP, associate participant of Bursa Malaysia Derivatives. So I believe that not only I have learned a lot, I believe that a great deal of our attendees today have also learned a great deal from you. So if you have any questions to ask our speaker today, CC Yong, please write your question in the Q&A box so we will address the questions. Now, CC, just now I went over to the associate participant list on Bursa Malaysia, and I noticed that there are a lot of palm oil plantation companies who are also registered as an associate participant. Could you comment on that?
Okay. Many of the planters, oil producer, they are actually also associate participant of Bursa, because they are actually is the one who sell the oil, deliver the oil. FCPO is actually physical delivery. So there will be some participant who really short the futures contract, which once you take the futures contracts, the oil will be delivered to you once it's actually matured. So these are the company who actually trading the futures, but with the intention to deliver stocks to you. And there are also some company, they actually take stocks, they want to refine the oil, the CPO, to make soap, to probably cooking oil, to make cooking oil. So these are the company also to produce the oil, to take the oil and produce goods from the oil. So there are the actual trading partners, participants, which also associate participants, and some of these companies also have prop teams, which they means they may be producing, or they may be have factories. They need to hedge their risks and all this. These prop traders are hedging or also delivering goods or products to the exchange. So for those who are willing to take the physical delivery, so these are the company with physical background. So let's say our background is we have only trading as a background. We do not have physical delivery options as a background. So we are purely futures trading prop house, but they are actually physical deliverable company or prop shop.
All right. So thank you so much for explaining about this scenario. One question from Chim is that if we become a local participant, like as a professional trader, do we have to pay income tax for our trading profit?
Yes, you have to be, because we need to register a company, so that because it's a trading business income, so automatically it's actually taxable. But take it as a challenge and also a good thing, because it's a taxable income, so you can declare the profit and loss. So as I just explained, But imagine this: if you're trading futures and you make a lot of money, but you didn't declare income tax. First is illegal not to declare. Second is that how you going to buy house and cars because you don't have income. So there's no cost or no no reason for you to have this kind of income if you not declare it properly.
Okay, there are a number of questions that ask about what is the minimum capital you would advise to start with futures trading. Maybe you
Okay,
talk about full-time futures trading, the amount of capital, and also like the retail trading, the amount of capital.
Okay. I did say as much as possible, but let's say if to put a figure, provided you have no problem, let's say surviving for next year. Let's say you have money for you to eat, okay, and pay your installments and all this lah, huh? You minimum is very small, okay. You need to start with, let's say 20,000, because 20,000, if your strategy is good, okay, let's say you're able to generate 25%, or let's say from scalping, so you at least have 5,000 as your income from this trading. But it's still not enough. The reason is because 20,000, you take 5,000, you spend it, then the next month you still have 20,000 only, so you never grow your account. So but 20,000 usually is the amount that I suggest and I put into my prop traders starting capital, and so far they can grow this capital, and eventually once you're able to grow the capital, usually we will actually inject more capital so that you're able to manage a bigger account. So do not be afraid to start small, because what you need is a skill. So once you have skill, attracting or you investing yourself into your own self, it's possible once you have a very stable income.
So 20,000 for full time. For full time, if you want to do full time.
Okay. Honestly, I start full time with 100,000.
100,000.
Yeah, 100,000. But I don't think it's enough. As I said, it's the more the merrier. But yeah, because as I start full times, I also encounter there's some certain things that I need to test, so I may actually losing money in certain tasks that I've done. So yeah, you need it as much as possible. My slight advantage is because my business background originally from stocks, from software, are very related, and this business has brought me some basic needs, which I can pay my house, I can pay my cars with my original business. So once I jump into full times, my business are still able to sustain some of my employees so they can run the business. So I just solely focus on futures trading. So as I said, the trading capital is one thing, but you need to have a survival plan, which you have enough food and all the commitment for the next at least 1 year. So it's not simple if you want to start your own as full-time traders, unless you have a income that's sustainable. So the next path of course is you don't need capital, you join a company. So this company will able to provide you some capital. Of course, join a company, usually there's some requirements. Some provide you basic salary. You need to do some commitment like desk fees and all this. Some require you to enter a training program before you can be allocated some funds to start trading. So there are various arrangement. So either some cost that you need to pay, or some contribution you need to contribute, or you take a lower pay to start off. So there are, as I said, trading yourself as yourself and joining a prop shop is actually not to say totally different path, but two different paths, but which leads you to the same goals actually.
Okay. Now, CC, just now you recommended, well, when we talk about prop firm, right? And you briefly show us a prop firm, and there are also follow-up questions like, is there any prop firm in Singapore, and also, do you employ traders for your firm?
Okay, the last question, because we're not in an expansion stage, so that's why we are not really acquiring traders. I have a number of traders. They are very good traders. Usually, I would say they are much better than me. So all my traders but we are in the stage that we are actually expanding internally. So we are not expanding in terms of number of traders. If you talk about Singapore, yes, probably I can show you. This is the article that I just mentioned, which is locally. This is a Singapore prop shop. They call Snap Academy. They are actually a prop firm. I know they are trading BMD as well. So probably this is another prop in Singapore which you can contact so that probably they will offer you something. They also offers a numbers of traders program. I think it's actually appropriate for you to contact them directly and I believe there are more prop firm in Singapore than there are those that I know in KL lah. So there are many more prop firm in Singapore because they are quite they started this actually way ahead of us actually. So they have more prop firms in Singapore actually.
Okay, then there are a number of questions to ask about your advice and tips when it comes to stop loss and cutting loss. Could you share a little bit?
The first time you cut, but then you realize your position is actually not wrong. Eventually you make money. So second time cut loss, you don't cut because you said last time it was right. So you stop cutting loss, and this time you lose a lot. So this sounds familiar? Okay, I've been through all this. Okay, those things that you go through, I went through. So my advice is the cut loss is the cut loss that you have to execute. Even though after you cut and you are correct and the money should be made. My style is that I'll cut loss, I'll execute my plan because after I cut loss, I have execution plan which I reduce my size, I control my emotion, I control my exposure to make sure that I'm coming back to a winning straight. Then before I start to do my full size again, that means I'll reduce size when I lose money. I cut loss, I reduce size, I make myself comfortable. And then once comfortable, so usually I will have winning streak. Let's say for the next 10, 20, 30 trades, all make money. Then I'll start to have confidence. I start to evaluate the market can be something that I'm familiar with. So I will continue to do what I'm do in terms of size previously. So this is how I do it. So advice on cut loss is cut loss that you must execute. Tell yourself cut loss is something that you must learn before you successful. So yeah, this is my advice to you.
Okay, thank you, CC, for sharing your experience in cutting losses. Usually, how long does it take for a beginner to start and qualify to trade full time or qualify as a LP?
Actually, LP you can even start first, but of course, to qualify to become a full-time trader means profitable trader. Honestly, it takes time. It can be 6 to 1 year. I've seen people 1 year making money, second year making money. Usually first year not really making money lah. Second year you make money, third year you make money, then fourth year you lose money, and you probably lose half the money that you have. So this is actually common. So the first 5 years is years that you're not stable. So make sure that you survive that 5 years. I didn't say that 5 years only you can make money lah. You can make money in the 6 months times, but you stable consistently make money as a trading as a professional trader, probably take you 5 years to be that level. As I said, you start forgetting when is the last time you made a mistake. You start forgetting because you didn't make mistake anymore. Then it takes some time, probably 5 years. Some maybe 10 years also they still make the same mistake. So it's difficult to say. But consistently making money, you need to be correct in the first 5 years. Then the next after that you will be okay. But provided you iron out all your problem in the first 5 years. So to become okay, probably 6 months to 1 year. To become really successful, that means consistent in making money, probably you need 5 years. But it doesn't mean that 5 years only you make money. It just means that consistently, you know what to do. You understand that you don't have to listen to other people. You don't have to be, dragged, by others. But you know what to do, and you focus what to do. Probably 4-5 years. But if you talk about start making money, it can be the first day you make money. But I wouldn't congratulate you if first day you make money lah. So you need to learn this. So try not to trade too big initially, because losing money is unavoidable. All right, you will lose money, but try to trade small initially. Okay, then when you lose money, you know how it's like, how the market lies. Because let's say, for example, CPU has got seasonal patterns. It takes 1 year to show you the whole season. Sometimes it shows you the whole pattern in 5 years package. So you need at least 1 year to see how these things turns out. So yeah, give yourself some time.
Okay. There are also a few questions that ask about what is the is there any certifications required to be a futures trader in Malaysia? Like there's an example like CMFAS,
Not those requirement. Those requirements more on the CMS SRL, so which handling all the monies. So
No,
for
CMFAS. There's this, CMFAS. Have you heard before?
not really. CM chartered
I
chartered
also
something.
have not heard before.
But
Yeah, so
basically,
no
you
no
don't
no
need that kind.
requirement.
No, not really. Malaysia is quite relaxed. I think sometime last time they do have some requirements. I heard like degrees and all this, but now it's actually more on you know what is going on. You have to attend a course, which is provided by Bursa themselves. And once you pass the course, usually you will awarded with the opportunity to become a local participant. You also need a so-called attached or sponsoring broker to able to do that lah. But this all your broker will able to advise you if you want to do it. Okay, contact your broker will be easier, where you say I want to become local participant. It's easier, much easier.
Okay. So when we become a full-time futures trader, would you share with us like what is the expectation of like the return that we can get a month if we do a decent risk management control?
All right. It actually depends on your size of your capital. You see, if you start with 20,000, it's actually okay. You expect you have 10, 20, even 30% and above. Okay, it's possible, but consistently doing it is actually hard. But you can expect like 10, 20, 30% also can. But it will be harder when you expect higher. Okay, especially when your capital is small. But when your capital grow to become bigger, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, then your percentage of returns every month, usually we use monthly, will drop drastically, because the market actually is the same size. You increase your size so big that the opportunity is actually start to dries out, because your strategy will use up all the opportunities that you can find. So once you find the opportunity, but you use the size to capture all the opportunities, so you actually dry up the opportunities to yourself. So this is why when you grow bigger and bigger, it doesn't mean that you put 100,000. Okay, for example, you make 10% per month, you make 10,000, right? You put in 1 million, you make 100,000. Probably yes, but you put in 10 million, you make 1 million a month. Not necessarily, because you start become disturbing the market. So if you want me to say what is a good expectation, if you don't mind, you want to become happy, easier to trade, you expect 1% per month. But 1% is probably too small for many people. But if you say that, should I adjust 10% at the start with a small individual account? I say yes. It's actually possible. I see many traders making 10% or even more when they provided a decent starting account. For example, 20, 30,000 is actually quite possible. But as you grow, it's getting harder and harder.
Okay, thank you for the questions. Now, would you share with us like what kind of lifestyle does a full-time trader have?
You will be surprised. We are just living as any other individual. But of course, that means individual means the individual has got his own lifestyle. So you see some traders are driving sport cars, really sport cars, and these are not selling classes, you know, they are really trading for a living, quietly. Most of the people don't know them. They maybe walk by, but tuk tuk, their car is a sport car. You know, there are traders like that. I'm seeing traders that just ordinary people. He probably, I seen him once carrying a shopping bag, you know, those reusable shopping bag, you know, just a regular person, you know, but he probably is one of our top traders in Malaysia. So yeah, these people does exist. It doesn't mean that as a trader, it's like movies must have a lavish lifestyle. Not necessarily. So there are some doing very well. They live the life they wanted. But the good thing is that you have free hand. It is a business that most of the time is because it's local participants. So you only one person working as in the entity. So you can wake up whatever time you want, but traders are waking up very early. We are punctual going to trading. Let's say, for example, ever since I become a full-time trader, I have never remember I have MC. I have never remember I have applied for leave. So I'm almost like working every day. So yeah, this is a lifestyle I'm doing. And because I'm not attaching to broker, I have my own office in outskirt of town, small town. So yeah, my lifestyle is more like a small town's businessman. So yeah, I go to work in the morning. I go home every day. Have my dinner at home. So yeah, my lifestyle is totally different.
No need stuck in the jam lah.
uh, uh,
Yeah.
I sometimes I start in jam. So but it took me like 1.5 minutes to go home like jam.
Okay, it's really long. Okay, interesting. I can also share that one of my friends is also, you know, is a full-time trader, and then morning maybe she help out at the, because the family owns a kopitiam. Morning she help out at the kopitiam, 10 o'clock stand by the straight FCPO, noon break go down to kopitiam to help, you know, and eat something, and then after come back afternoon go for another trading.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
CC, you know who am I talking about lah.
Yeah.
So you know, this is the lifestyle of a full-time trader and all, got time flexibility lah. So when I talk about lifestyle, right? So there's one more question which I feel is interesting and want to draw to your attention. So asked by one of our friends here, Jebat. He says that futures trading, is it based on news or social media? Because I got some advice from someone. She told me that you need to wake up very early, 4 to 5 p.m., 4 to 5 a.m. Sorry, in the morning to read news, you know, from US and so on. Would you want to comment about that?
Oh, okay. As I said, there's number of ways to trade. Scalping, first thing that I recommend for starters, scalping means you trade intraday. That means the news won't affect your position because you have no position overnight. So once the market open, if it's okay, you enter. If not okay, you don't want to enter. So there's no news interpretation in intraday scalping. So you do away the news lah. Swing trading, position trading, yeah, you need to know the fundamental, the news and all this, but the homework that you're doing, you don't have to be wake up 4 a.m. But yeah, you probably need to wake up a little bit earlier to have your breakfast on time. You, for example, when people grow up like me, so we have fixed time every day. This time we will wake up. Even the alarm is not, you know, set off yet. I woke up already because I woke up, you know, just on time with the alarm, and I have breakfast same time every day. I read the news. I also love to watch news. Usually I read newspaper and then I watch. I mean, I listen to news in my ear, an iPad, you know, all this. Yeah, I do this, but it's enjoyable. Don't worry. But you don't have to spend like hours to do the studies. I don't think so, because you have your plan. If you're doing position tradings, you know that you're doing long or short in this period of time. As long as there's no major effects that affecting you, you don't have to worry about your position. So this is what happened to us. But people before you're experiencing this, probably you thought otherwise. So I'm just explaining to you what I do lah. So it's not necessary you wake up 4 a.m. I don't think any one of us will read such a long time, in terms of news. Usually for position trading or swing trading, we have our own view of mind already before we go in. So yeah, not necessarily, But do I monitor the market? Yeah, most of the time, yes, I do.
Okay. Having said that, I remember that every time when I want to text you, right, during the trading hours, I was thinking, would I disturb you in trading?
No, not
I
really.
still text anyway after that. Then after thinking about the text, but you reply me very fast, so I think that, you're the fastest responder in terms of my WhatsApp messages and also text messages.
It's matter of fact, it's
Okay.
how I communicate with the world, my brokers, my news sources. I have a lot of contacts. People will get a hold with me via WhatsApp. Any data that we suspect, we share to each other via that. The broker, yeah, we all the stakeholders are, and then because some of my traders are, let's say for example, most are still trading from home. So yeah, we communicate via. WhatsApp is a basic, which we text each other. Once we have meeting, once we have something up, we use, let's say Microsoft Team or Google Meet. So we meet each other, or we actually sit together. Probably, let's say if the market is so volatile, we will actually connected. I just put an iPad there, so we are actually communicating throughout the trading session. So this is probably why I can respond to you fast, lah.
Okay. Now, is there any virtual account that you can recommend us to start, to practice our strategy?
All right, okay. Nowadays most of the brokers support paper trading. That means if you get the account from brokers can provide you the paper trading account from the actual trading account. That means you need to open up a trading account first, then the broker will enable the paper trading function. It's actually automatically enabled for you if you want to go for it. But I recently, I think I heard Bursa is coming coming up something with paper trading from the same platform as well, provided to you, because the software actually costs you something. So I think this one is actually Bursa working hand with the vendor and all the brokers. You most likely will get this function or platform or tools free of charge. We are paying it because we are using it. You probably get it free of charge to do paper trading on all the strategies that we are doing. So I think do spend times on monitor probably Bursa website or their BMDs. They have a Facebook account, so you like the Facebook account there. Once they have this, I'm sure they will announce there. Or Bursa Marketplace is another platform. I'm sure there are many other platforms that they have all this interaction with all the traders. Yes, you will get this soon enough. I really, if not mistaken, it's very soon you will get it, because the function is there. But I think Bursa is working one step ahead, probably probably they will bear all the costs for you, I think. So yeah, do stay tuned. Probably their Facebook is the best way for you to go.
Yes, since this is an event brought to you by Bursa Malaysia, let us give them some airtime. You can create a virtual account at a Bursa Marketplace by creating a futures trading plan, FTP, futures trading plan. And you can also like their social media page, which is Bursa Malaysia Derivatives. Just go to Facebook and find Bursa Malaysia Derivatives, and I can connect with them. They will share with you all the updated information about futures trading in Bursa Malaysia. Okay, so you can create a virtual account at Bursa Marketplace under futures trading plan. So let's do one last question now. This is
Sure.
on your opinion. So CC, the question is for scalping, right? FCPO scalping. Do you think stop loss of 3 to 5 ticks is too small, or is healthy risk to reward ratio?
Okay, I'm speaking, let's say if you're full-time, if you're a local participant, scalping 3 to 4, 5 ticks, right? Okay, it's actually very big, because I'm not scalping the outrights as per se, but I know many local participants are scalping outrights FCPU with 1 to 2 ticks profit. Of course, once you long, they will automatically take 1 or 2 ticks profit, but certain time they know the trend is there, so they'll probably buy 5 lots to hold, as the trend goes. But normal days, 1 2 ticks is the profit usually scalper are targeting. The reason why 1, 2 ticks, because first fast in, fast out, because once you're out, your exposure is zero, so you won't have the risk. There's certainly some news happens here and there, the gap down, you know, like what the previous audience asking, you need to read news. But scalping, if you take 1 tick, 2 ticks, so the news haven't able to affect you. It probably affect you one day, but only one lot kena. So, but all the profits has been, let's say, for the past 2-3 months, it's still profits. So, I would say 3-5 ticks is not small. It's actually very big. 1 to 2, 3 ticks probably is most couple intraday traders in CPO are doing actually.
So if you join CC Young's prop firm, you know that his risk management is very tight. All right. So thank you so much, CC, for sharing your invaluable insight as well as your sincere insight with us how we can be a full-time trader. So let me share with you more about what is coming next for you. Just give me a minute by making myself a presenter again. All right, so the next session for Bursa Malaysia Derivative webinar is analis niaga bagi pasaran niaga hadapan. So as the topic suggests, you know that this session is conducted in Bahasa Melayu. So the date is on 13th of August, which is next Thursday, 8:30 to 10 o'clock. So you may register at the link that I just gave you, given you in the chat group. So click the link here to register for our next session for you to learn how you can do, you know, technical analysis in futures trading. All right, so this session will be conducted in Malay. So thank you so much for tuning in to our webinar, Let's Learn Futures series, brought to you by Bursa Malaysia Derivatives. So thank you so much, CC, for spending your evening with us to share with us your journey to become a full-time trader. And thank you everybody for spending your precious Thursday evening with us to learn about how to become a full-time trader. And this is Shen Chu signing off, and I'll see you all next Thursday. All right, so bye-bye.